All right, so this is just going to be a little recap of 7.2, which is basically solving. So again, the idea with solving is try to get x alone. So I don't know which one I'll do first, maybe this one. So if I zoom in on this, I try to figure out what's x with. I've got this, and then I got this. 7 doesn't count because it's not really with the x over here. It's separated by that equal sign. So my goal is to figure out what's x with, how are they connected, and how do we undo it? Because eventually I would really like to be able to do something like this, right? Like if I said get x alone, you'd be like, okay, cool. I'm just going to do like one of these things and erase this. And look, now x is worth 7. It's all alone, right? But naturally we can't do any of that. We have to, undo things mathematically. So we have to use a mathematical eraser. So with the numbers that I just showed you, I need to get rid of this, this, and this. And so we always undo addition and subtraction first. So I'm going to undo that 2 with a minus 2. Don't forget what you do to one side, you do to the other. And so that leaves me here. Now, I really want to be able to undo that minus 3, but I can't get into this house until I lift off the roof. Like this is attached underneath this. So to be able to do that minus 3, I have to lift this off first. So exponents and roots are inverse operations. So if I see a 3 in this corner here, I'm going to have to raise the 3 to this side here. But again, like what you do to one side, you do to the other. So this cube and that cube root cancel each other out. They're inverses, so they undo each other. 5 cubed literally means 5 times 5 times 5. Brain, calculator, Desmos, guessing, whatever you need. There's your 125. And I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And now I've got my final answer there. All right, so it's the same kind of concept, which is what's x with, how are they connected, and how do we undo it? Stuff outside of the connectors. So if there's parentheses, if this was a parenthesis instead, you'd still get rid of that 2 first, right? So things that group things are always done last. So undo this, then undo this. And again, roots and exponents. So if you have an exponent, you need a radical. If you have a radical, you need an exponent. So we move on to this and say, okay, it's the same kind of question. There's an x out, or there's a 2 out in front. There's a 2 behind. There's that 4. The parentheses we kind of try to figure out as well. So there's lots going on there. So I want to be able to get in here to remove that minus 2, but I can't do that until I get rid of these things first. So we undo solving by undoing PEMDAS, and so we're going to undo multiplication first. So like big numbers first, right? So I don't want to distribute this in because, again, if I distribute that in, 1, I violated order of operations, and 2, that 2 is in a different spot. I don't want the 2 in front or the back. I just want the 2 gone, all right? So you don't want to move the 2 inside. You want that 2 just like to disappear. So we're going to undo that 2 first by dividing. And now I'm left with this. 162 divided by 2 is 81. And now, again, I kind of have no other choice. Like, if I want to get into the parentheses, I have to remove the stuff on the outside first. So, like that first. So, again, that's an exponent. And what undoes exponents are radicals, but the index has to match. So, if I write in a 4th root on the left, I got to write in a 4th root on the right. These 2 operations undo each other. So, I'm left with x minus 2. And the 4th root of 81 is what number times itself. I should probably write a different symbol. 4 times gives us 81, and that answer is 3. Except the other answer I'm always worried about is this a possibility as well? If I multiply 3 negative 4s, am I going to get 81? Because if I do, I should keep that answer, right? So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. That's a 9. 9 by 9, 81. So let's keep that. All right, and then I'm going to add a 2. So if I add a 2 to the 3, I get 5. If I add a 2 to the negative 3, because remember, these are 2 separate numbers. So x minus 2 equals 3. And we've got a separate equation equals negative 3. Because, again, this could be this answer, which is so you get x minus 2 equals 3. But this could also be this, which is why I've got a separate equation. And you can write 2 separate equations too if you want. And there you go. So hopefully that helps a little bit more with 7.2.